I think we'll call this one swarm number 3 because I'm starting to lose track of how many swarms we've had now. First of all, we had swarm number 1. That moved and took up residency into one of the swarm traps in our home apiary. Then we had swarm number 2. That, if you remember, I had to climb into the bramble bush last week to get to. And this makes swarm number 3. Swarm number 3 is here in the windy apiary. A highly original name, I know, but it does always seem to be windy here. Before anyone panics, there is actually a brood box underneath ready to catch them. I just forgot to move the camera back far enough. Safe to say David Attenborough probably isn't worried about the competition just yet. With the swarm safely in the box underneath, I can start adding the frames back in so they can settle into their new home. Just brushing the last of the bees off the branch now, and then I better try and find somewhere to put them and a make do stand. This is all I've got in the windy apiary, so this will have to do for the time being anyway. Welcome to the windy apiary, girls. Now go and make me lots of honey and make me proud. Back at the windy apiary now, it's time to bring the reinforcements in, otherwise known as Steve, because we're finally on to one of the best parts of the season, honey harvest time. Honey harvest is definitely easier with a bit of muscle on your side. Thankfully, Steve volunteered. We're taking off the supers that are ready now before the oilseed rape honey starts setting hard in the frames. These fields actually came out later than some of the others, so there are still plenty of flowers around, but these boxes are ready to come off now. We'll take these ones off today, then come back in a week or so's time once the rest of the boxes are ready. Thankfully, Steve not only comes with mussels, but also comes with a truck, which definitely helps when every super seems to weigh an absolute ton. It's hard work, but this is always one of the nicest parts of the beekeeping season, really. After weeks of checking hives, swarm control and worrying about the weather, it's finally time to start bringing in some honey. I'm just removing the wax cappings now from the honey frames. Once the bees have finished turning the nectar into honey and reduced the moisture content enough, they seal it over with a thin layer of wax. With oilseed rape honey though, it's slightly different because it crystallises so quickly you need to get it off the hive before it starts setting hard in the frames, so you don't necessarily wait for every part of the frame to be capped over. With oilseed rape honey being so thick and quick to crystallise, I usually only run the extractor at about half capacity. It just seems to extract a little bit easier that way. And this is the best bit, finally seeing all that honey starting to flow out of the bottom of the extractor. There's something really satisfying about seeing the first honey harvest of the season finally coming through. Then it's simply uncap, spin, repeat, over and over again until we've got enough to fill the creamer. The creamer slowly turns the honey into that soft, smooth, buttery consistency, ready to go into the jars. Wow, these girls certainly don't want anyone getting into their hive. It's like Fort Knox trying to get into here. Now I'm over at the Caribbean apiary and I've come to put the clearer boards onto the last couple of hives ready to take the supers off. The oilseed rape has mostly gone here now and there are only a few boxes left to clear. Unfortunately, I've lost my muscly sidekick Steve today because he's put his back out, and it definitely wasn't from lifting the supers. So no muscly Steve equals no truck either. I might have to drive the car down tomorrow because that super is really heavy. There's the swarm. Can you see? Seems to be doing well. They're drawing it out. That's it. Right, let's put her back then. Right, I haven't got much food, so I'll just go and see if I've got a feeder. I haven't got any feeders, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop her wet super on above the crown board, just so they've got something, because they really don't have anything at all. It seems silly for them to be hungry when I've got wet supers. Oh, walks into a tree. Do you know, I think the bees think that I'm crazy, because they're like, who are you talking to? There's no one else here apart from the bees. And they're like, you talk to us, but we know what's going on. So I think they think that I've lost the plot. I need a bit of wood for a blackboard, so I'm just pinching a bit from Steve's field. Straight-ish. Steve's mum and dad also do me a massive favour by selling some of my honey from an honesty box outside their house. They live slightly tucked away off the main road, so I thought I'd make a little blackboard sign to put out on the roadside so people know where they can get local honey from. Back over to the Home Sweet Home apiary, I've come to feed the splits I made earlier in the season. I'm just making up some sugar syrup for the bees now, using a simple 1-to-1 mix of sugar and warm water. I put a bit of straw in the feeders to stop the bees drowning in the sugar syrup. I'm going to have to turn you off because it's starting to rain again. After a quick break in the showers, I can finally get the feeders on. The bees climb up through the hole in the crown board and into the feeder to get to the syrup. That was lucky, just managed to get them all done. I did run out, so I'm going to have to come back later to do that one. But it's now starting to rain, so you've got to go away.